All right, there we go. We're ready to go. I don't want to take a chance with the background noise. So I'm just going to mute everybody, and I'm going to unmute you at the end when it comes time for the actual Q&A session to get going. So thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate your time, and I'm not going to take much of it. I want to first of all let you know that, or say hello from where I'm at. I'm not in town today. I'm actually in the beautiful city of Las Vegas, Nevada, or Las Vegas, as some people call it. And I'm here for a FFS convention. We got a lot of things going on that are going to help us on the Radiant side as well that I'll cover at a later time. I just want to go over first things first before we get to the class. There is going to be training this Saturday. Obviously, the first and the third Saturday of every month is when we book our training sessions. We are trying to change them to the second and the fourth, so that way, instead of the little room in the back or the smaller room, we have the front room, the big room, every single time. So just stay posted in regards to that change once it does get confirmed. And so again, we're just simply running out of room again, and so we're going to go ahead and just try to get the bigger room every time. We're also going to have an opportunities presentation on Saturday, and what a BOP stands for is the Business Opportunity Presentation. And what that means is that we present the radiant opportunity to potential MLOs, mostly realtors. That's the low hanging fruit. So we are going to have a pretty good turnout in regards to that. I've got about 12, 14 guests coming. So if you have anybody you want to present the opportunity to, go ahead and invite them. We will have the presentation from 9 to 9:45. At 9:45, we'll have some current MLOs come in to kind of give their testimonials and take on any questions they might have. And it's a very efficient way to take care of business. Also, we've got a lot of, not a lot, but some agents that have come on board with an NMLS license, but for whatever reason, they haven't given us their hiring packets. Without the hiring packet, we cannot process anything. And for all intents and purposes, you're considered a license. So don't hold on to them. Go ahead and get them in, as well as your first loan, so that we can give you your credentials. We purged a lot of MLOs that were not doing anything. So we freed up a batch of credentials for both credit and lending QB. And so again, we need you to submit your first loan to give you that as well. We're gonna well, everybody knows who I am, and I'm not gonna get into the opportunity side because that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. I'm sorry, Saturday at the office. So I'm gonna just fast forward through this because I don't have a lot of time. We all know about pricing and so on and so on and so on. Now, first of all, Radian Mortgage Bank truly has the most generous compensation plan in the entire industry. It allows you to participate on not just a comp plan, which is technically the half a point, but also on the actual marketing stipend that we give everyone, which lets you share, if you would, in what the company gets to make when we actually sell the loan. And so the total generated compensation plan is 4 points at par, but at the same time, it's technically half a point. So if anybody ever asks you or you hear us tell you that, the first half a point is paid in the form of a W-2 check with all the withholdings, and that is your true comp. We just let you participate in the other money that is generated up to 4 points at par. So everybody has to make at least half a point because of our half a point compensation plan. And if you wanted to, you can give up to 3.5 points in the form of credits to the bar, or burning the points to lower the interest rate as well. Now, keep in mind that you must be NMLS licensed and sponsored by Radian Mortgage Bank at the time a loan is submitted in order to be eligible for a commission. And that's important because if you submit a loan today and it closes in 45 days and you get your license in day 41, you were not licensed. I mean, it has to be by the date of application. And that's not our policy. It's not a company policy. It's a little thing called federal law. And so it's very important that you understand that if you submit a lead that turns into a loan and you're still not licensed and sponsored, it is going to fall under the training reimbursement side of the house. I had a realtor, I had two this week actually, I don't know what's in the water, but two of them called me up telling me that they expected to get paid on a lead that they submitted, even though they haven't even applied for the school. And I go, yeah, I understand all that. I mean, who wouldn't want just money? But understand that because of federal law, there are regulations. And I asked him, so you mean to tell me that if I give you a listing, you'll go ahead and list it, sell it, and then give me the whole commission just because I sent it to you? Or somebody who's not licensed, you would do that, jeopardize your license for somebody that's not even licensed that's going to quote take all the money according to you? And if the answer is if that doesn't get you to see the light that federal law is federal law, I don't know what to tell you. But like it says there's simply no exceptions. And so we want to make sure that until you are licensed and sponsored, and we make it super easy because once you pass your exam, you submit the MU4 and request the relationship with Radian Mortgage Bank. We will consider you at that point licensed and sponsored. We don't even wait for the final, credentials to come in. So it's a very generous understanding we have, but there's always a greed factor in all of us that when it rears its ugly head, it has a way of screwing things up, and it's called common sense. If you want to break federal law and go to Club Fed over this, I have not a friend, but somebody I know that's awaiting sentencing. Oh, actually, he went through sentencing already in federal court and is awaiting his date of surrender when he has to surrender for 2.5 years to go to Club Fed, a federal penitentiary, for stuff like this in the mortgage world. I want nothing to do with that. So if somebody doesn't like it, they can leave. Very simple. Federal law and federal prison, breaking federal law, and packing your toothbrush to go to the federal pokey is something that I have no interest in. And if somebody else wants to go do it and risk their license and their freedom, go ahead. But here, it's just simply we're not going to break federal law. So don't ask me. And if you ask me the answer, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be no. Now, all RMB agents must complete their corresponding training program. And again, this is part of the whole integrity that we talk about all the time, especially for all the people that are aspiring to become trainers. Everybody needs to be trained for no other reason that if something goes wrong, we have to buy back a loan at $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 because somebody made a mistake somewhere. First thing they're going to ask is what kind of level did this person receive? And our stated training program is that you have to complete 3 training cells. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's very simple. Let me first of all show you what the program looks like for an unlicensed person. So somebody is unlicensed today. They are taking the school next week, or they maybe already took the school next week. But if the loan is originating today, this does fall into the unlicensed side of the house. You don't have a license. It's illegal to earn a commission from a loan that was originated when you were unlicensed. Plain and simple. I don't think I have to go into much more depth than that. Same thing with real estate. You close the deal and you go ahead and decide to pay a commission to an unlicensed person, you're going to get in trouble, they're going to get in trouble, and your broker's going to get in trouble. And so again, don't be greedy. Hurry. The same person that was telling me that they wanted to get paid as a licensed agent, and I asked him, well, how long have you been here? And when he told me how long he had been here, I go, all this time and you couldn't complete it to school? I mean, there's no congruency there. You can't come, yelling at me that you want to get paid as a licensed agent, but yet you don't have a license. You haven't even done the school. So the question to you is, what the hell is the incentive of getting a license? If you're going to get paid without a license, well, don't get it. I wouldn't get it. It doesn't work that way. The same thing here. Make sure that you understand our training reimbursement program, because we only have 2 programs. That for the licensed MLOs and that for everybody else, which is unlicensed. So all new unlicensed agents must bring 3 loans, which are submitted by a licensed field trainer, somebody with an NMLS license that's sponsored with Radian Mortgage Bank. Now, the trainee can observe but cannot participate in any fashion at all until funding. And so what that means is that you cannot participate in the actual pricing of the loan, interest rate. You cannot sit there and quote them a payment. Your trainer will do that. But what you can do is observe, and you have to be present at every step of because it's a training program. And so what I mean by that is that to pull credit report, don't just call somebody and ask for a credit report. Ask for a web meeting so you can log in and see how your trainer pulls credit so that you can eventually do it yourself. We want to empower you. And so therefore, it's very important that you do your part to do that. If your trainer needs to be anywhere for any reason, you need to be there as well. If your trainer needs to go and explain something to the borrower, you need to be there to listen as well. And so if you are not, we've had only 2 issues where this happened, where the person called in, gave the info, submitted the lead, the trainer started to go to work on it, couldn't hear from the trainee at all, and eventually, all the things that needed to be done were done. The loan got funded, and here's the trainee again. In the world that I come from, when somebody calls me, gives me a name and a phone number, disappear, and then I fund the loan, I send them a 6-pack. And if the loan is big enough, I'll give them a 12 pack. But that's all that the person deserved. A trainee is somebody that needs to be trained. We want you to get off the training cells as quickly as possible and become a productive MLO. Because if you don't get it, it's going to be very difficult for you to be successful. So please take advantage and use and abuse your trainers in the sense that whenever they do anything, have them do a quick web meeting so you can kind of follow along. If they need to call Rosa because of an issue, have them do it through a three-way call so you can listen in. You have to do your part. If for whatever reason, and here's the reality. The reality is that you will be one of the best paid, you will hold one of the best paid positions in this country because as an MLO, you're probably going to put in about, once you're fully licensed in on your own, you're probably going to put 4 to 5 hours per loan and get paid a ton of money. And so therefore, there's not a lot to do. We don't make you process a loan, underwrite the loan, none of that stuff. So whatever little there is to do, you need to do it right. And the way you need to do that is have that conversation with your trainer and say, hey, Joe, do me a favor. Anything that needs to be done, do me a favor. Don't do it until I'm either on the webinar with you or on a conference call with you and the other person. I need to learn this stuff. And then you're off to the races. So you need to be involved during the first 3 deals. And let's just say you complete 3 loans, you fund them, and then you get licensed. Well, the way it works is once we fund your first 3 loans, we will issue you a $4,000 training reimbursement in cash. Plus, we will pay you back the cost of the school if you took it with Affinity, and we will reimburse you the actual cost of the prep test or the crash course as well. And we will even reimburse you the cost of the flashcards that Artricia sells at her school because we believe they're that good. So again comes Joe, the realtor, closes 3 loans, and he's still not licensed. And then he finally gets licensed after the 3rd loan funds. He or she would qualify for what I just described to you and what you see on the screen, excuse me, which is the $4,000 training reimbursement. Now, if you divide $4,000 into 3 loans, you're basically earning around $1,333 per loan, which we call a credit. Now, the reason that's important is because let's just say you don't have the money for the school for whatever reason. So you submit your first deal. It goes obviously in your trainer's name because he or she's the one that's licensed. And then once that deal funds, if you still don't have the money for the school, we will take the amount of money that you need and pay for the school from your 1333 for that one loan you funded. And so what that means is let's just say you fund a loan and you don't have money for the school, we'll pay the school. You don't have money for the crash course, we'll pay from your 1333 credit for the crash course. You don't have money for the MU4, we'll pay for it. We will pay whatever 1333 buys you if you would, but we will not give a dime to you. We will have to give it to a third party. Again, we don't want to break the law. And so that enables everybody to put some sweat equity. Even though if you're a realtor, hopefully you've got enough money, or everybody here should be making enough money to do what I think you should do. So in this example, let's just say you go ahead and you submit a loan today. Great. You submit a loan today and and let's just say it doesn't fund yet, but you get your license next week. Well, going forward, the first loan is going to fall under this program, which is 1333, but the next 2 loans you do will be 50-50. And what that means is that you're going to get paid on the other ones for the simple reason that you were licensed on the date that the loan was originated, which I'll cover it here in the next slide right now. So again, write down your questions. This is the reimbursement program for unlicensed trainees. 3 loans, you get your license, $4,000 cash, or we can pay whatever expenses you might incur to help you become licensed. Now we go into the license side of the house. You come to us and you already have an NMLS license. Great. Then at that point, what happens is you're going to do, again, 3 training cells, but the first 3 training cells are going to be on a 50-50 split basis because somebody's going to have to teach you the ropes. We use, as you all know, Lending QB. We show you how to price a loan. We also use the Lending QB app to price our loans. Someone's going to have to teach you everything I just described and then some. And so it's very important, once again, to understand how we pull credit with Universal Credit Services and everything else that you're going to have to know to be a productive MLO. Now, If the only hybrid version of this is as follows. Let's just say you're not licensed today. Okay, great. Then at that point, once again, it's going to be part of the 1333 per loan reimbursement. But you do one loan and then you do become licensed. Like I described earlier, in that case, the next two loans will be 50-50 because you're licensed now. But the first one will remain at 1333 reimbursement. Again, we have to use common sense. If you're not licensed, you cannot earn, quote, a commission. We can give you a reimbursement, and the reimbursement cannot, this is the maximum amount we can reimburse you without it flirting with being commission. And so, therefore, it's very important for you to know in which category you're in. And here's what I tell people: there's only one way to do this business, and that's the right way. And the right way is you get your license. It's critical that as soon as you make a decision that this is something you're going to go ahead and proceed with, meaning the opportunity, you sign up for the next class. Now, I had two people the last week and a half take the online course. You can do that. And obviously, it'll take you 20 hours here and there. Or you can do what I recommend. And I strongly urge everybody to take the affinity course live over a 2-day period, because what our Tricia is going to teach you is going to prepare you to take the exam. The exam, I wouldn't call it hard, but it's certainly not easy. And it's a lot of word. They play on the words so much that as you're learning this with a live person, they're telling you now on the test, they're going to ask you this, but understand that they're being technical, so you have to make sure you say this. And so that's why we really don't care where you get it. My recommendation: do what some of our hardcore people do. The two-day course is giving over, well, a 2-day period. So let's just say you go ahead and take the class on a Wednesday, Thursday. You take the crash course on a Saturday, and you take the exam the following Monday, Tuesday. That's what I did. Now, Tricia will tell you to wait at least a blank number of days before you go in and take the exam. I mean, that's her philosophy, but eventually it's going to be up to you how well you score. She does give you a mock test that you can take online, and if you're scoring above, X, not 80, 90%, you're good. If you're scoring in the 30s, then you better keep studying. And so again, that's why I recommend hers. But back to this class here today. If you do what I'm telling you to do, you will be fine. Once you make that commitment to join us and make money with us, immediately take the school. It's not that hard. Okay, I get it. Somebody's intimidated by the exam, so they're waiting another week or two. I get it. What I don't get is, how can somebody come on board and not take at least a school? If you haven't taken the school, you're not even within striking distance of taking the exam. And so therefore, knock the school out of the way, and it will help you become licensed and fall under the 50-50 split basis rule, which is the way to go. The person that I was telling you called me kind of complaining about how they wanted to be paid 50-50 without the license. I was like, okay, but why don't you just go get the license? I mean, I'm not in the mood to go upstate and spend some time in federal prison over you. I already have one person that I know that's going there. I sure as hell don't want to be number two. Take the school. Well, I'm still thinking about when I could, where should I go? All right, if you want to overcomplicate it, well, go ahead and overcomplicate it, but don't take too much of my time, because you know what you need to do. And if you're not doing it, you don't fix it by telling people to break the rules to accommodate you. So make sure that you at least just take the school. That'll get you well on your way to do that. Now, once all 3 loans have been funded, then at that point, the MLOs that are licensed now get 100%, unless future splits are requested by the trainee, not the trainer. So you're done with 3 and you got it. There's not a whole lot to it, to be honest with you. Then bless your heart. And you just get paid 100% of whatever you price the loan at. Now, the only exception to that is the admin fee that I'm going to talk about here in just 1 second, because I want to be crystal clear to everyone about everything as well. So anyways, let's go ahead and answer this question. When is a commission amount determined? You should never wonder how much money you're going to make when you work with Media Mortgage Bank. You should always know to the penny how much you're going to make in any given deal, because it's pretty simple. The final commission amount is determined when a loan interest rate is locked. You will always be called or emailed to be notified that we're about to lock this interest rate, and just confirming that you quoted a 4.25% interest rate. Yes, that's what I want. Perfect. Now, just so you know, today's rate sheet, it shows it at a cost of, let's just say 99. That means there's going to be a 1 point cost. Perfect. And that's it. You should never, ever, ever, either as a trainee or as a trainer, wonder how much you're going to make. Now, if you're a trainee, whether you're licensed or not, you're not going to get this because it goes to the MLO, which is your trainer. However, you got to make sure that you tell your trainer that you would like a copy of the loan rate lock certificate. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to show it to you in just 1 second. It's a lot longer than this, but I'm not going to show it to you because it just doesn't have what I want to show you. This is what I want to show you. It comes from HMAC directly, and it says rate lock confirmation. And it'll say, like in this example, this is one of my loans, 30-year fixed, FHA. The loan amount is right there. The interest rate was 4.5% at a 99.3 cost. That means that there's going to be a 0.7 deducted from my 4 points. So a little over 3.25 points. It was locked on May 19th for 40 days. The only reason that this happened on this particular one, we had it extended, as you'll see below it, because of the fact that this is called the XYZ file. There's so many parties involved. I walked away from it when it first got to my desk. Rosa made me take it back. She said she could work it, which I did not believe she was going to be able to do. And because there were so many parties involved, it was unbelievable. She got it approved, which I don't know how. But the point is that this is my lock right here, and I'm looking at it. There's a total cost of 0.825 total, so that way there was an adjustment for the FICO score, and I could just do the math. It's very simple. Every time a loan closes, you're going to get, depending on how much you made, one check will be a W-2 for the 0.5 point. All the deductions, so on and so on, come out of that. It's that simple. The second check you're going to get, if you priced it over 0.5 point, you're going to get a separate check, what we call the marketing stipend check, and that's going to be $10.99 for the difference. So again, every time a loan closes, we reconcile the entire cost and income for every loan. It's called a recon sheet. You will receive a recon sheet for every single loan you close. Now here is one from this pay period. We just got paid on the 1st, and this is what it looks like. And it has all the numbers you need to do your math, which you should have already done it because these numbers come from this sheet that was locked a while back. And so you'll have the loan officer, the name, the comp plan that you're on, which as you can see, it's a 4%. And then you see the loan amount of $630, which is what you see right there, $630,000. When it funded, when it got sold, the rate sheet price, this comes with the discount point. So the total earned was 2.75. And then from that, 0.5 point got paid W-2. The first 0.5 point is always part of the comp plan, $3,150. Subnet was 2.25, which is another $14,000. If you add those two numbers together, you'll see that it's $17,325. And then you deduct the $300 admin fee, which I want to talk to you about. The admin fee, just so you know, is a very simple fee. Every loan now has to be put through several databases, and the big one, the most expensive one, is something called Fraud Guard. It's been going up and up and up in price. We're currently paying $900 per file in fees that we have to purge the loan through. There's no way around that. We've been paying everything up until July 15th is when we started to spread the love, and now we pay $600 of the $900, and the other $300 goes to the actual LO, as you can see there. So if you do the math, from the 17,000, whatever I told you about, 17,325, it leaves it with 17,025. Now, if you're in training, then this would be the 50-50 split at this point right here. And again, everybody gets the same recon sheet, and you as a trainee, if you're licensed, if you're not licensed, then it doesn't apply to you. But if you are licensed, it's your responsibility to ask the actual trainer for a copy of the rate lock confirmation form, which is something that they receive automatically. So you'll see that will match this. These are two different loans, of course, but you see where I'm coming from as it relates to that as well. I want to talk to you about everyone's favorite, not day, but days of the month, because we get paid 2 times per month, which is pretty cool. If a loan funds between the 1st and 15th of the month, you will be paid on the 1st of the following month. Pretty simple. If a loan funds between the 16th and the 30th of the month, you'll be paid on the 16th of the following month. So that's the way the pay cycle. So when somebody calls me, hey, am I getting paid on the first for the so and so file? My question to you is, when did it fund? If you don't know when it funded, find out. I don't know. I can tell you that right now. And the way you'll know is because, once again, you're working with your trainer. You got to make sure you stay in communication to know when that took place. So again, this is the way the pay cycles work with us. First half a point W-2, the rest will be 1099. And the only caveat, and we really don't even enforce it. I spoke with Red about this. I have never seen it happen, but per the policy, very simple. The loan must have been sold already in order for us to get paid. I'll say it again. The loan must have been sold already in order for us to, even though it's never happened. But again, going back to your recon sheet, you'll see that it funded on the 13th and it sold on the 31st. So we don't say that it has to sell before the pay period. It just has to have been sold, period, in order for you to qualify for that as well. What I'm going to do is turn it over to you guys to see if you have any questions. But what I'm going to do is end the webinar at this point so we can keep it short and sweet. It'll be available on demand so that you can always go back and look at it. And this, along with the rest of our classes, are in the back office of rmbagents.com, rmbagents.com. And then there's a little tab that says Classes on Demand. And that's where you'll find things like this. So you don't have to come ask me. Just go review it at your leisure as well. So let me just go ahead and stop the recording right now.